Hey y'all. All right. Back out in the garage again. But you know what is a little bit more important than this? Recognizing all of this. How about recognizing something else? Like what's out here? Let's go see. Recognizing this right here. Yep. The old stars and bars. American flag. So today's July 4th. Happy 4th of July to everyone. I wish you all a very happy 4th of July. Hope you can spend this time with your family, your friends, and have a good time. Maybe shoot off some fireworks, maybe do a burnout, maybe make some noise, or just maybe just take it easy and relax, grill some hot dogs or something like that, hamburgers, whatever. But I've got some other stuff to tell you about inside here. Let's go see. Okay, so the good news is I've got this beautiful flag out here. I hope you can see it. Beautiful Mopar flag. My brother got this for me for Christmas, I think last year. The reason I don't bring it out here, I brought it out here today because it's being July 4th and I kind of wanted it in the video. The reason why I brought it out here today was just for that. And I don't leave it out here because this garage isn't very well sealed or anything, and hope you can get a better look at it like that. Okay. Yeah, this garage isn't very well sealed and it's dirty, and I do a lot of really nasty work in here, and there's bugs and stuff like that. And I really don't want that flag to get dirty. It's like I said, my brother got it for me, so you know. All right. Other good news. Got all the hoses hooked up on here. Uh huh. You see right there, got all the hoses hooked up. I had the belt on here. I was pouring water in here, and then I had a water leak. A little bitty one, and it was just one of the timing cover bolts down here that I tightened up, and it was all fine, down here. But then I had a little problem. I kept hearing before I had another problem, water coming out right here. But before that happened, well, I had another little problem. I kept hearing water trickling inside the engine. Wasn't coming out here nowhere. I thought I'd check the oil, see what's the oil level like. It was a little bit high, but it wasn't really increasing. So I kept adding water to it, and I got to thinking to myself, well, maybe the water is coming in through here, you know, through those sheet metal gaskets that I used. If you recall in a previous video, I did that. And I think it's come back to bite me in the butt. So I was going to like fire this up because of being 4th of July, and all of that. And, but, let's touch on that for just a minute. Over 200 years ago, you know, people fought for our freedom. And they still do fight for our freedom in the military today. So please do remember that, okay? Do remember that more than anything else. My father fought in Vietnam. He was in the army in Vietnam, and still has long-lasting effects even to this day. So he's battling problems from uh, Agent Orange. So that's still a problem even to this day, 2023. So um, that's big. I'm glad I got that out of the way. Talked about that. Now I want to talk about that how America 200 years ago, over 200 years ago, fought and defeated the British, and they wrote the Constitution and basically said, "Hey, King, This is the crap we don't like that you're doing to us. And that's exactly what happened. So, you know, that is exactly what happened. And when they did that, they basically pissed off the pissed off the British, and which you don't need to. You probably know that already. They pissed off the British. They pissed off the British government, the British Army, the British Navy, which was like the most powerful navy in the world at the time. And then basically, after that was all said and done, after they pissed all of them people off, they carried on and they fought and they won our freedom. Now, so how does that tie in with this? Well, when there are some of us, we don't have the big money to go out here and build the big money builds like the 340s and maybe a stroker 360 or something like that. We build a 360, we're building a stock stroke 360, which is just fine, you know. And there's people that may not like that, but that's okay. They don't have to like it, because here's the thing: people that don't like that, you know what they're called? They're called haters. Okay, and I get comments every once in a while. You need to take that 318. You need to throw it away. Get you a 340. Get a real engine. Well, you know what? You come up with the money for that. Maybe we can make that happen. Until then nothing's going to happen. And that's basically where it stands. Because a lot of these haters, they'll say stuff like that, but they don't have any clue as to how to rectify that problem. Because 99% of them, they've never built an engine before. They don't know anything about it. There's a few of them that might, but the thing of it is, it's like this. When you're cutting a good line at a drag strip and you're running like, let's say you're running 12s in a quarter mile with your Barracuda, and somebody says, "Hey man, what kind of engine is that?" "Oh, that's just 318." And they're like, "No, it isn't." And they're like, "Yeah, it is." And then you go and show them, and they walk away shaking their head. You know, the thing of it is, there's real horsepower, and then there's mental horsepower. The mental horsepower is the people who thinks that you can't do anything unless you have an engine of a certain size or certain dimensions. Well, look at like what's going on over in what's been going on in like Formula One racing forever. They have tiny little engines, that are like 2 liters, 3 liters, 1.5 liters, or something like that, and they're making big horsepower with them. Yeah, they're having to really rev them to the moon, but they're still making big horsepower with them. So I'm just sort of like, why can't somebody take a 318 engine and make big power with that? I think you can. I don't see anything wrong with that, because I'm not a hater. I think it's a great idea to take a 318 and make big power with it and enjoy it and have a great time. And that's the big thing here, is enjoyment and having a great time. Because, when hot rodding started out, a long time ago, whether it was with a 318 or whether it was with like a Model T or a Model A engine or even a flathead Ford V8. The thing of it was, those hot rodders back then, that's what they had to work with. Some of them even worked with other engines, like maybe a Chevrolet 4-cylinder or a Chevrolet or a GMC Stovebolt 6. Sorry, Chevrolet was a Stovebolt 6. The GMC was not a Stovebolt. Chevrolet was a Stovebolt. So, thought I'd show y'all something here. 318s Um, General engine specifications here. In 87, they made like 120 horsepower in the trucks. The 318 with a 4 barrel made 150. The EFI in 87 or 88 made 135. Here's the 360 2 barrel, 130, 170. That's what they were rating them at. Let's go over here to the 360 or the 318 in 70 was rated with 2 barrel, was rated 230 horses, 320 foot-pounds of torque at 2,000 RPMs. Then the 4 barrel 340 was rated 275 at 5,000, 340 at 3,200. Pretty impressive. Now, if we look here in 69, the 2 barrel 273 V8, 190 horsepower, 4,400 RPM, 260 pounds-feet of torque at 2,000. 318 2 barrel 230 horse, 340 foot-pounds of torque at 2,400. And here's the 340 doing the same torque number at 3,200. However, here's the big numbers that are really important. Bore of the 318, 3.91. Bore of the 340, 4.040. And then if we go down here, can we get to a 360? Do they show a 360? This is for the Barracudas. So let's go over here. 360. Bore, 4 inches, 3.58 stroke. Then if we look here at the 318 and the 318, it's always 3.91 and 3.31. So, what I'm basically trying to tell you here and there is basically take what you got and make it into as much of a hot rod as you possibly can, that you can afford, that you can have fun with. Okay? So, if you have a 318 like this, or any other 318, Mopar, LA, and you want to build it into a performance engine, you can. There's just some rules you got to follow. Get the best cylinder head you can get. Try to get the best cylinder head and the best intake and the best fuel system you can get, and a really good ignition system, really good exhaust system, not manifolds like these. Okay. Headers, maybe long tube headers, if you can. If you want to stick with manifolds, go with a Magnum manifold. A little bit better, than these. But ignition system, get you a really good hot spark. Really good cylinder head, really good flowing cylinder head. Way better than these. These are just a stock 302 casting cylinder heads. They're decent, okay. But go through, build your engine the best you possibly can. Like I said in my previous video, the top 5 things you can do to a 318 to make more power, and I outlined it there. Better cylinder heads, better cam, because the cam in these things, the factory cam, like every 318, is just puny. I mean, it's just pathetic. There we go. Yeah. The cams in these 318s are stock 318s are pretty lame, pretty weak sauce. So yeah. But the hot rodders of old, they worked with their flatheads, and they worked with whatever engine they could get their hands on, and they did good with it. They made power with them, and they had fun. They enjoyed it, and they set a few records along the way. The flathead Ford, when you start looking at it from today's perspective, it looks pretty it doesn't look all that great. I mean, it's pretty handicapped by its valve in block design. It, you know, like you can take a mildly breathed on flathead Ford V8 making maybe 200 horsepower, and a lot of people with there's a whole lot of kids out there with Honda Civics that will, with a stock Honda Civic, that will probably leave it. And that's just the truth of it. The thing of it is, though, is about enjoyment and having fun, and taking what you got and making it faster and faster and better, and make more power and torque and everything like that. So you know what? I tell you what. How about we do this? How about to celebrate the 4th? I take this very fine truck here, this 92 Dodge D150 with a very fine 239, and we take it out and we take it for a drive because it hasn't been driven and it needs to be driven. So let's take it for a drive. But I've got to move a couple of things before I can back this out. So be right back. Okay, y'all, we're back. And let's see if this thing will fire up. Yeah. Yeah, she's cold. Hasn't been started in a while. There's the temperature gauge right there. I don't know if you can see it very good. Let me just back out here. Oh. At least park and brake. Might help. See, there's temperature gauge right there. Very, very cold. What kind of mileage we got? 359, 767. Let's see if we can have ourselves a decent drive here. I think we can. Whoops. Sorry about that, y'all. Big old hedge bushes here. They conceal somebody coming down the road. I don't even know somebody's coming down the road. So we'll try to keep things moving along. I'll tell you what, let's do this real quick. Yeah, I like that. Let's see. Don't like that. Let's see. Here we go. I think that will work. Let's go enjoy ourselves here. Let's go have a drive. have to shift with the left hand that time. This has got that new rear end I put in it. .489 center section, 8 3/4 Mopar, 355 gear, sure grip. I had to put pinion shims, correct the pinion angle. It was way off. You might ask yourself, wait a minute, didn't you put a truck housing in this? Yeah, you're right, I did. But here's some things that's changed over the years. Is that, you know, thing to think about is that bushings can compress, rubber degrades in like the leaf spring bushings. They haven't been changed. I've also changed out the transmission mount and the engine mounts. That may have changed the angle on the output shaft of the transmission. So it's just something to think about. And then not only that, you know, you go to a different housing, you know, things may be a little bit different there too. Maybe in '72 when that housing was made, they had a different pinion angle they wanted on all of that. So, you know, a lot of little stuff changes. And then if you throw in like air shocks and, you know, all sorts of other little things like changing the tire sizes, things like that, that can have an effect. That can sometimes have an effect as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this drive in my truck, because I know I sure as hell have. Yeah, I don't have a lot of horsepower here to play with, but you know what? I have a lot of fun here. I have a lot of fun to play with. That's what I have in this truck. And every time I drive it, I'm reminded just how fun this truck is and how enjoyable it is and what a good truck it really is. Sorry. Leaning the camera there. So I hope you are able to hear me, because I've got the window rolled down and it's kind of a loud truck. But oh, you know, I always say this at the first of the video, and I want to say thank you so much for all the subscribes. We're now over 2,200 subscribers. I really appreciate that. It's just amazing. And for those of you who might think I'm being sarcastic, I'm really not. I'm truly, truly thankful. Every time I see that subscribe number, I'm like, wow, that's amazing to me. 2,200, over 2,200 subscribers. I think like 2,207 last time I checked. So it's really something. I really appreciate you all for watching, subscribing, and liking and commenting on the videos. It's really something. Thank you so much. I truly do mean that. So if you have any questions about this or any other videos, you know what to do. You're smart. Put it down in the comment section below. I will do my very best to help you out. And one other thing, let me leave you with one other thought. What would you all think about me doing a live stream? What would you think about that? What's your thoughts on that? Post it down below. If you'd like to see it, I will definitely be glad to do it. If not, hey, maybe go watch some other channel, okay? Thank you very much for watching. Oh, and also remember, happy 4th of July. And remember, down with the tyrants, even if the tyrants are on the hater commenters on your videos, okay? So, let's see, focus in on this. Yeah, God bless. Have a great one.